Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, here every single time, OG the Beast. And the other guy that's here with me every single time, that's Uncle Chilltown 32. Unc, what's popping?
If you see him, if you see this dude, you're gonna see me. So it ain't like it's a situation where it's just one and not the other. I mean, this is a
Facts.
package deal. This
It's
is
a
what you're
package
getting.
deal. Tag team, baby. We back
Uh,
again.
this is what you're
Barbershop
getting.
Fridays. Today
Yes,
is
sir.
December 17th, 2021. We having a great Friday night of basketball going on right now. I was catching a little bit of that Warriors game before I hopped on. Big W's. OG Simba, appreciate that, man. Dame Dollar, what's popping? You
What's
know what I'm
happening with you?
saying? How y'all feeling tonight? Loyals on
Hmm.
YouTube. If y'all don't know by now, y'all should know. I'm gonna tell you every single show. If you can't catch us live here on Twitch, the show will be up on YouTube the following day. So if you're coming from YouTube, man, make sure you drop us a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if y'all feeling what we doing over here, because we going to keep it coming for y'all. But as for my guys right here on Twitch, like I say, shout out to the first timers. True Hero, first timer. What's going on, man? How you feeling? First time tuning in. I appreciate you stopping through. Uh, Ball Stalker, Justin Herb's stepdad. Copy that. I think little jokey joke for the game that we should
Uh-huh.
get into as of right now. Speaking of which, very entertaining Thursday night football game, ladies and gentlemen. Very entertaining. I enjoyed every bit of it. Um, to be honest with you, it's kind of satisfying. As weird as this might come off, hear me out though. It's kind of satisfying to see Patrick Holmes fail, right? It's satisfying because now it feels like that, to take it back. I don't know how some of you cats might be young in here, right? But my favorite sequence of movies is Rocky, right? Now, I'm sure everybody know Rocky had a series 1 through 5, and then they made 2 or 3 more movies after the series to carry on. They were good too, right? But in comparison, I mentioned Patrick Mahomes being like bad at times, right? When Patrick Mahomes came into this league, he took the league by storm. A lot of people were comparing him to Michael Jordan, saying he was the Michael Jordan of football. No problem with that, because I agreed. Because Michael Jordan was one of the few NBA players in the history of the game to completely take the league by storm and be arguably the best player in the league stepping through the door. You know what I'm saying? That's what Patrick Mahomes was from the moment he stepped through the door, right? The reason why I brought up Rocky is because I don't know how familiar you guys are with Rocky 4. Ivan Drago, he kills Apollo Creed, which was Rocky's best friend. So now Rocky steps in to fight, Ivan Drago, and everybody was saying it's suicide. Drago was on steroids, juiced up. The dude was
I
like
really wanted to
six,
fight him.
seven.
I really wanted to fight Drago after he killed Apollo.
I'm,
I
I'm,
wanted to fight
I'm,
that dude
I'm,
for real. I
I'm
wanted to
saying,
fight that dude.
you
I
know what I'm
swear
saying?
I
Like, I
did.
did too. As a
I
kid
wanted to
growing up,
fight that
I
dude.
hated
Oh, I wanted
Drago
to
for
fight
that.
him.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like Rocky stepped in. He didn't want no money. He didn't want no publicity. He didn't care about no belts and no nostalgia, nothing like that. He simply wanted to fight Drago because of what he did to his best friend, right? To take up for him. But everybody was saying it's suicide because Drago was a machine. So when they get into the fight, Rocky's getting killed for like the first 2 rounds. And then the third round, he clips him with a right hook. And you hear the announcer say, he's cut. He's cut. Rocky gets back to his corner, and Duke says, he's not a machine. He's a man. That's how I'm feeling about Patrick Mahomes right now. Because Patrick Mahomes was a machine his first 2 years in the season, in his career. And now he seems to be, he's not a machine. He's a man. Like, the dude is human. He makes mistakes like he did in this game. Even though he had a great performance against Justin Herbert and these LA Chargers, which will be a great rivalry for years to come between these two cats, right? What we saw on display. Patrick Mahomes goes 31 for 47, 410 yards, 3 touchdowns, all in fourth and overtime, right? He did turn the ball over. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill had themselves a day, became the first duo in NFL history with 10 plus catches, 140 plus yards, and a touchdown on the same squad. That's amazing. What did you see, likes and dislikes from this game that made you say, whoa, these dudes is up next?
Well, the interesting thing is Patrick Mahomes being human. I mean, he's still on pace to throw for almost 5,000 yards this year and almost 40 touchdowns.
And we calling it
but
human.
but we calling him human. I know it's nuts, but I was about to call him San Diego. I'm sorry. I dug how Los Angeles was rolling early. Now, not just rolling early. They was rolling early and rolling often. They got after Patrick Mahomes. They got after that front four. Got after him. They dealt with him in coverage. I was digging. I'm not really a big fan, to be quite honest with you, Beast. I'm not a big fan of shell coverage. I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like for you to line up with this cornerback. I like you to line up with this wideout, and it's you and me. I'm not really a big fan because I come from the Dion era. I come from that era where guys just
line your hand up on you.
Let's go. Let's line up and let's get it together. But then what I saw last night with Los Angeles, I saw that defense. It looked like early they were bearing down. And what they also did, which I really dug, was they made it clear on Kansas City's defense, which has been playing phenomenal as of late. They made it clear to their defense, y'all up against it tonight. I know what you guys have been doing, and I love what you guys have been doing, but y'all ain't seen nothing like us in a long time.
That's
so you
fact.
better be prepared. You better be prepared to deal with us for the duration of the night, right? I know Parham got hurt. He ended up hitting his head on the turf, and he ended up with a concussion. And it's only a concussion. That's a good thing. I thought it was way worse than what it looked like, but it was only a concussion. But I like how they got rolling. I've said this to you before, Beast. I dig Justin Herbert. He looked more and more to me like a more athletic version of Dan Marino.
Yeah,
I love how he sits in the pocket. I love him sitting in the pocket. I love his decision making, and he's just going to get better as he gets older. Now, what I didn't appreciate was I don't appreciate not taking the points, Beast. Because if you, I can appreciate aggressive play calling. I have no problem with that because you can't always be conservative and you can't always be conventional. Yo, you got to mix it up sometime.
Mm-hmm.
However, when points are at a premium, you have to take them when you can get them. So when I'm thinking about they're in the fourth quarter and they're already up by a touchdown and they're in the red zone, right? They're already up a touchdown and in the red zone on the 2. Well, if you take the points, that puts y'all up 2 scores.
Mm-hmm.
Now Patrick Mahomes in the meat and potatoes of the game, because we already saw what he did. Now they gotta go down and score,
no doubt.
right? And now we put so much pressure on them as opposed to they get the ball back on the 1 and they got the momentum.
Yep.
That's bad coaching right there, Beast. That's bad coaching.
The only thing I agree with what you're saying, but here's why I disagree with, right? When you decide to coach like the way that this game was coached, you have to maintain a level of consistency. You can't – I mean, I understand game planning according to who you playing, but Staley, to me, coached a great game. And if you are who you are, let's be consistent with that. Have an identity. This team has an offense that has a solid running game, had the worst offensive line in football last year to middle of the pack this year. They got an all-pro quarterback soon to be. You know, if he maintains the consistency to the level that he's on. Mike Williams showed his ass this year. Keenan Allen is arguably a top 10 guy in the league.
You got a man crush on him too, by the way. Don't think I don't know about it, but I know you do.
Hey, I've been following him for a long time.
It's
when
okay.
Everybody was on
He's
Tavon
awesome.
Austin. I was on Keenan Allen from Cal. I've been following Keenan Allen for a while. But the thing about it is they got everything they need offensively to succeed. So why would you not be a personnel group that wants to go for it every single time? He ain't losing the locker room like that, right? 2 for 5 on 4th down in this game. And you got to know who you giving the ball back to if you decide to punt it. You got to know that Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of that field. And if you don't try to take advantage of your possession while you have it, it could result in 7 real quick the other way. You got to know who you're dealing with. That's why I don't have an issue with the aggressiveness. But the 2-yard line one, that one was a bit shaky because you realizing you go up 2 scores with this field goal. It's the fourth quarter. You're putting a lot of pressure on the opposing team's offense, right? But what if you get that? If you converting it and Patrick Mahomes can't come down and the
game out of reach. Game's over. Game's over.
That's the
game's over.
Now you go from being a scrub and Staley goes to being a genius now.
All right, I get that. You absolutely. However,
so
when we talking about however, here's the difference with that though. When we talking about being in a position to score
Trey?
3 times.
I'm sorry, Unc. Why Trey? Appreciate the gifted sub, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. Yo, so when we in the red zone, We cannot not score. The premise in being in the red zone, like you just said, you on fourth downs and 2 for 5 and fourth downs. That's 40%. I think that's in the top 10 in the league, as a matter of fact. But that's not my issue. When you are in the red zone, you have to score, especially when you're playing against a high-powered offense like Kansas City, like just a bit like Tampa, like Green Bay. When you playing against those teams, you have to score, and points are at a premium at that particular time. So if we down there 3 times and we on fourth down and we basically at the 2 or at the, not just in the red zone, we at the 5. I can appreciate us being not just a predictable team, but being a consistent team. But we cannot have 3 of them. Not 1, Beast, not 2. We can't have 3 opportunities to score and come up empty on all 3 of them. That's not good enough, and that's coaching. Now, I can get we have to go for on fourth down. Sometime we can't do it every time, but we cannot not do it at all. Right? I can get with that. But we have to come away with points. We have to come away with points, and we can't. I think that's what cost them the game last night. Now I can appreciate once again.
Ball got put on the deck. A few interceptions was thrown. Turnovers did occur.
Right.
So
absolutely, I think that's what cost them the ball game last night. So when you're in the red zone, my point is that when you're in the red zone, points are at a premium, especially against the better teams. And this is the team that I think you're going to see again in the playoffs, possibly in the AFC Championship game.
True.
So if that's true, we have to be able to score against these guys, and not just 7. There's the time when we're gonna get 7, but there's a time when we got to take 3. Don't get me wrong, there's no shame in punting the ball, but when we have an opportunity to score, we got to take the points, and I don't think he did enough of that last night.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I agree. I agree to a certain extent, but like I say, that's when I lean back on who are you dealing with. You know, Staley's the type of guy that's aggressive. He's going to be going for it on fourth down a lot. You know, over the last decade or so, the team that went for it the most on fourth down was Belichick and Brady. So when you factor that in, you understand why. Those guys won 7 Super Bowls or 6 Super Bowls together. So, you know, they have a winning culture, to say the least, over there in New England. So, you know, I don't want to say I'm mad at the fact that that's the way you decided to call the game, because it's going to work, I think, more then it won't work, especially with the offensive talent that you have on that field any given Sunday. So I'm not mad at it. If it didn't work against Kansas City because you feel like you got to be over-aggressive, I'm not mad at it. If it didn't work because you feel like your personnel wasn't lined up right, or you wasn't in the right group, or you know your guys didn't execute the play calling, we're going to continue to do it again. You know why? Because that's who we are, and that's who our identity is, and we will not change that for anybody else in this league, especially when you're going against the best in the game. The best the game has to offer, arguably, and Patrick Mahomes in that Kansas City Chiefs unit. You see what I just told you. 10 catches, a $191, 2 touchdowns for Travis Kelce. 10 catches, 148, and a touchdown for Tyreek Hill. These guys are dangerous, and they can light it up any given time on any possession. So that's why you feel like, man, look, we get down here in this red zone, we got to get 6. We can't settle for 3. And that was the mind state of the head coach, and I don't blame him, because this is Kansas City we talking about. But
we can't come up empty though. With the exception of we cannot come up empty though. There's a difference between going for 6 and coming up empty. Okay, we can't get 6, but we can't come up empty neither. And I think that was the problem that I had last night.
That is a great assessment, though. Good stuff. But we got breaking news. I get the information that Kyrie Irving seems to be on the verge of coming back, regardless, especially with everything that's going on with COVID right now. Guys are dropping like flies. I'm thinking, to be honest with you, the league may consider shutting down for a few weeks until they get this shit under control. This is ridiculous. Al Horford, COVID protocol, like LeBron James was in and out of it. Westbrook just got out of it. It's a lot of players. DeMar DeRozan just got out of it. We lost games because of that. You know, so it's a lot of players in and out of this COVID protocol. Kyrie hasn't played all season long, and now with the Nets being number 1, Kyrie Irving, I guess the Nets are in it, and they talked it over with the team. And I guess the team agrees that they okay with Kyrie Irving playing only away games, or only games that are not in New York, where, you know, it's mandated for you to be vaccinated, right, as a player. So I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you, Would it mess up chemistry? Is the biggest question that everybody's asking. Would this mess up chemistry? To me, to be honest with you, I'm not worried about Kevin Durant and James Harden. I'm not. I'm more worried about the guys you're going to need to make big shots down the stretch in games and in the playoffs, the others. Are they going to be comfortable in their role now that it's reduced that a Kyrie Irving comes back? I'm not worried about Harden making an adjustment, Kevin Durant making an adjustment. Would it be an adjustment for them? That's the least of my worries. These guys are superstars. My favorite cliche is great players figure it out. Always.
Which they do.
Even if you put two polar opposites on the team and they all-time greats, they will figure it out. It may not work right now or right away or immediately. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade made absolutely no sense at all. No sense together. But they made it work. They won 2 out of 4 championships. So that's what I mean. Great players seem to figure it out, right? So I'm not worried about Kevin Durant. I'm not worried about James Harden. I'm more worried about these others, the LaMarcus Aldridges, the Blake Griffins, if he ever decides to get back on the court, the Claxtons and the Joe Harrises and all of these other guys and how they going to react to the situation. What you think about it, Unc? Is this shit going to work?
Well, here's the first thing. They took the extension off the table. So I don't think that they see Kyrie long term. All right. So with that being said, we're in a situation right now where they're at the number 1 spot, and the Eastern Conference has gotten a lot better than what it's been. So with that being said, we could go from number 1, even if KD wasn't around, right? Even if KD was around and James Harden wasn't around, we could go from number 1 to number 6. And that means that we would have to see somebody like Milwaukee in the first round or some nonsense like that, which we're really not interested in doing that. So the more bodies we can get, especially with what you just got finished talking about with this COVID protocol, y'all had 7 guys in protocol. I mean, y'all had 10 guys in protocol.
Yeah.
Brooklyn has 7. So
somebody shut their facilities down, I believe, recently.
Sacramento canceled practice. Sacramento canceled practice and shut their facility down. So with that being said, they need bodies, right? Not only do they need bodies, we can handle Irv playing in road games management-wise because they think that they can possibly win the NBA championship. And we'll figure out everything else in the offseason. Here's the problem, though. The problem, Beast, is when we're home and we got that 5-game homestand after we just came off the road for 3 games. Now we got to play another 5 games. That's a week and a half that we are without this dude. Yeah. Because with you guys caving, Irv is not getting vaccinated. Let's make sure we 100% clear about that. He's not getting vaccinated. So with you guys caving, now it's becoming an even bigger issue. So when we come off the road, right?
Excuse me.
When we come off the road after 4 games in 6 nights, and now we got a 5-game homestand, and we're only 2 games up on Chicago in the East. And we don't have Irv in the lineup for those 2 games. We just got acclimated to him, right? We just got acclimated to him. We just got him back in the lineup, and we just starting to get some sort of chemistry with him. Now, with that being said, now he goes back out the lineup for another 6 games, another 5 games.
So you think it's going to be a chemistry issue?
Absolutely. How we going to work this out with we got you 1 week, and then the next 2 weeks we don't have you, and then we got you for 3 days, and then the next 5 days we don't have you. That's going to be very difficult to deal with. Very difficult to deal with. Does that mean Kyrie? And not to mention, we talking the season been 2 months now. We 2 months into the season. We ain't seen nothing with Kyrie Irving. Has he been working out? What kind of shape is he in? How sharp is he? How is he going to mesh with this unit? And how long can he play with this unit? And how are the guys on the unit feeling about this? Because like you just said, not only are you cutting into my minutes, us going far in the playoffs, that's a contract issue with a lot of us. I can get an extension.
Yeah.
Right? Not only can I get an extension, this other guy, I might be getting cut. And me playing well depends on me being on the floor. Now, if Irv comes in, he might screw that up. Now, if that would have been a problem in the beginning of the season, we could have worked it out. Well, I'm already in the middle of it with guys like Brown. And don't forget, Cameron Johnson is looking really good. He's now he might be out the rotation now. 1 week, another week he's on, Another week he's off. That's going to be difficult. But I understand what Brooklyn is trying to do. Brooklyn thinks that they can win it with Irv.
Yeah,
They
no
think
doubt.
that they can win it with him.
Without
they
Kyrie
think that they
Irving,
can win it.
Brooklyn is not winning the NBA championship.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love Kevin Durant, but without a Kyrie Irving, I do not see Brooklyn winning this NBA championship. So, and I think they understand that, right? They see the struggles. They see the teams that they lose to, and they say, if we had Kyrie, we probably beat this squad. So, you ever heard the cliche, 70% of something is better than 100% of nothing? I think that's what this situation lies with a Kyrie Irving, right? If we can get 50% of Kyrie Irving, it's better than 100% of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's a chemistry issue, which it will be to me with the others, I don't think it's going to be an issue with Kevin Durant and James Harden. I think they're going to ball out regardless, right? So I think it's going to impact the others. It could impact the coaching and the decision-making, rotationally, all of that on any given night. But I think it's an adjustment that teams can make. Guys sub guys in and out all the time. They swap the lineup in and out all the time. Some guys is healthy scratches. Some guys play 35 minutes the next night.
Beast. How though? We talking about it's not a situation where I'm missing one game or two games.
You missing a multitude of games.
We home for 2 weeks and I'm not playing.
Yeah.
And then so today is Friday. We don't go back on the road until next Monday, which is when I get back into the lineup. How is that going to work, man?
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do if you want to win a championship. And this is the way I see this is a hurdle that Brooklyn's going to have to jump through. If they want to win a chip while cooperating with Kyrie Irving for only this season, because I don't see them, dealing with this any longer than what they have to, right? So Kyrie's going to have to get the hell out of Dodge or figure something out, get vaccinated, do whatever the hell he's got to do, right? But if they want to win a championship and capitalize on Kevin Durant's career now they have to deal with this shit. And the only way to deal with this shit is to sit the team down and say, hey, we got a guy that's only going to play half the games, but we need him when we have him. So my thing is the games that this small foe do play, he can't come out here and be dropping deuces in the toilet. I'll tell you that for damn sure. Like you playing half the games and you garbage, I can't have that.
Well, he hasn't played in 2 months. So what do you think you're going to get from him up going forward? What do you think you're going to get from him? Because we talking about a dude who hasn't played in 2 months. Not only that, we ain't yanking him in and out of the lineup every other game. We yanking him in and out of the lineup every other week. So he plays 3 games, and then the next 5 games, we're not going to have him. So that's 2 weeks that he's out the lineup.
No doubt.
So how is this going to work?
That's a great question. I mean, it's the test of testament. We gonna find out if the coaching staff is strong enough to make this work, and not only that, if the rigorous nights that they go through, the nights that they lose and they don't have Kyrie, and they look at this fool like, if we had you, we probably could have won. We lost by 3, bro, and it might aggravate some people in the locker room after a frustrating loss. I could see them looking at Kyrie like, bro, this dude pull up when he wants to. He practice when he wants to. Like, what's up with this dude? Like, I'm not feeling this.
Up when he wants to.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not feeling this. Like, what's up? But, it's only time will tell what happens. OG Simba says, OG, in your opinion, what more does Steph Curry need to do to earn a top 10 spot all time? Well, Unc displayed that, and he did a hell of a job displaying that. And if you didn't know what he said because you didn't catch the show, it's on YouTube. You can go catch it. You can definitely go watch it if you want to. Also, not only that, I took the clip, chopped it up, and I put it on TikTok because it was that good, right? Unc basically said he needs a Finals MVP, and he needs to solidify himself as being not only winning the Finals MVP, as being the best player on the floor when he wins such award. Like everybody in the top 10 all time has displayed at least one time in a career, right? Think about it. Everybody in the top 10 has not only a Finals MVP, but also multiple All-Stars. Not to say that Curry don't have that, but the thing that lingers over his head is the lack of Finals MVP and his poor Finals performances. Because to be honest with you, if Curry plays better being up 3-1 against Cleveland, he probably takes that home, regardless of the Draymond Green suspension, all the other bullshit narratives that people want to create. If Curry plays better in games 5, 6, and 7, the Golden State Warriors probably don't even make it to 7 games, and they take that shit home easily. So, Curry has to play better in the NBA Finals, in my opinion. And not only that, he must get a Finals MVP and prove that he's the best player on the court, on the floor, not just on his team. Ain't that
Not just on the floor. I need you to be the best player in the series. In the championship series, can you be the best player? I've seen Kevin Durant be the best player in the series. I've seen Kawhi Leonard be the best player in the championship series. Those guys in the top 10, James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain. I've seen these guys be the best player in the championship series. Just because you win the finals MVP does not mean that you're the best player in the series. When they won it in the 14-15 season, and Iguodala won the finals MVP, LeBron James was the best player in that series.
Mm-hmm.
That's who that was. You need to see that from Steph Curry.
They almost gave it to him.
Right. They almost gave him the finals MVP.
I think they would have gave it to him, but Bron said he wouldn't have took it.
Right. Even after because they lost. He was like, I wasn't going to take that because they lost.
Right.
I do need to see if I could see him as the best player in the championship series. Is that asking too much to talk about being a top 10 player all time? Am I asking too much to ask you to be?
Curry's my favorite player. I 100% agree with you. 100%.
When I think about you, and you remember Shaquille, who was the best player when they won them 3 championships? Shaq was the best player in the series. As good as Kobe Bryant was. And we all know Kobe Bryant wasn't good. He wasn't great. He was phenomenal. Shaq was the best player in the series.
Second and third when he picked up his slack. The first one he got carried. Second and third when he picked up his slack. But Shaq was still the number one option on that team.
He was the best player in the series, no doubt about it. Olajuwon was the best player in that series against Orlando and against the Knicks. He was the best player. And I'm asking you, when you want me to make Steph Curry one of the best, even though if he was to win finals MVP, we got to start having that conversation. I'm not going to fight that at all. But I do need to see him be the best player in the championship series. I need to see that in order to solidify that conversation actually happening.
I 100% agree with that, and I got no issues with that because I feel like these guys in the top 10, he said, True Hero says, who comes out? Wilt, and I agree. I don't – Unc list is different from mine. I have Wilt at 10. He has Wilt in the top 5. So, yeah, it would be at the expense of Wilt Chamberlain. But to be honest with you, I would not let Steph Curry in before I let Kevin Durant in. So we got a bigger issue than you think. You asking about if Steph Curry can get into the top 10. I'm not putting Curry in there ahead of Kevin Durant. I'm not. So if anybody that's an active player right now outside of LeBron James has an opportunity to break the top 10, it's Kevin Durant, point blank period. So once we get to talking about KD, then we can get to talking about Steph Curry. That's just my opinion. Everybody jumping the gun. But moving on, we got a lot to get to. Zion Williamson, right, had an injection in his foot. He's already been out, missed the entire season up to this point. A lot of people thought he was going to be back by Christmas, maybe potentially earlier than that. But he just had an injection in his foot, and now he's out another 46 weeks because this is considered a setback. Zion Williamson, man, is one of my favorite players in the league coming out of Duke. I was in love with Zion from the moment I locked eyes on him in high school. I said, this dude reminds me so much of Dominique Wilkins. Is crazy. Like, I used to call this dude Baby Neek. And it's ironic that he has a foot injury, just like Neek did. You know what I mean? And a guy that's his size, his girth, cannot have lower body issues. That's what took Shaq out. That's what took Yao out. That's what took a lot of these big men, overly big guys out, is foot problems. And at the ripe age of 21 years old, Zion Williamson is already having foot issues. Can this guy persevere, Unc, and become what everybody assumed that he would become coming out of Duke? Or is his career shot?
That's the only issue that we have in right now is that it's his health, because he averages 26 a game. In the 2 years that he's played, he's averaged 26 a game for his career. So his talent isn't in question. Right? He's not Greg Oden, where he's averaging 12. He's not Greg Oden, where he's averaging 12 or 13 a game, and we're not really sure what he is. He's averaging 27 a game. Mm-hmm. However, this issue with his foot, it sounds to me like it's a blood issue. What I mean when I say a blood issue, like he's not getting the bone is healing, but the feeling in his foot is what the problem is. So we're in year 3, all right? We're in year 3, and now he's got another setback where he's not going to play another month. So we're looking at almost over January. So they already 9-21. They trashed. They're at the bottom of the Western Conference. So how much longer do you hold on before you go, all right, we're going to shut him down? Mm-hmm. So now that's another season That's a season that you've completely missed. How many years, if you had to guess off the top of your head, Beast, how many years do you think he's going to be around?
Let's see. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you, Zion.
I need 100. I needed 100. I don't need an 85. I don't need a 90.
My goodness.
How many more years?
And it's sad to say, right? Because of the way he plays the game, he's a bruiser who likes to attack the basket. He shoots the majority of his baskets at the cup. On top of that, he's got foot issues, knee issues coming into the league, and he's over 300 pounds reportedly right now with an eating problem.
I don't think he's that big. I just seen a picture of him in the mall. I don't think he's that big. I think that's a crap.
So what you think? You don't think he's 300? I would say the last time when I seen him at that game, he looked like he was about 300-something pounds, man. Think about it. Zion at his peak when he came into the league was 280. Think about it. 300 pounds is a couple of steaks and a hamburger on any given week, and you pick it up 15, 20 pounds.
You know what you got to be doing to gain 20 pounds?
As a skinny dude, Unc, no. Listen, I'm a big dude. I know these things. Trust me. To gain 20 pounds as a skinny dude is hard as hell because it's not in you. Zion had to cut weight to get to where he was at 280 coming into the league. And people was telling him he needed to lose weight thin, right? As a big dude, a couple of burgers, a apple pie, and a milkshake, that's 10 pounds. I'm telling you. Hear me out. I'm telling you. If I look at a burger the wrong way, I gain 5 pounds in my right leg. I'm trying to talk to you. Trust me.
And in New Orleans, that food down there is something different.
He eating good, and it ain't vegan.
That food down there is something different.
You can best believe it is not vegan. He is eating chicken, lobster tails. He is eating good. I'm telling you. This man is reportedly over 300 pounds right now. Knee problems, foot problems, and he attacks the basket for a living. I swear to God, I pray that Zion Williamson comes back 100% because he's a human highlight reel part 2. Real talk. This man has so many shades of Neek to me. He just looks the part without the midi because Neek had a little mid-range game to him.
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's the fact.
That's the fact. That's the only difference I see.
So here's the question that I have. When I'm looking at Zion, right, if I could get him healthy, I don't know what the story. It's obvious that he can be healthy because he played of the 72 games last year. He played 63 of them, right? So he played 61 of them. So I'm sorry. So, excuse me, he did play 61 games last year. So I can get something out of him. Now, if this isn't that bad and we can, because don't forget, Joel Embiid missed 2 seasons because he had foot problems. All right. So with that being said,
true, that's a good one.
If I can get him to be upright, right? If I could get him healthy and I could get I already know I can get 60 games out of him because I got 60 games out of him last year. So if I could get 60.
Joel is 7 feet tall, but he's only 260 pounds. He's 6'6", 300.
Right. And Joel Embiid, also at 7 feet tall, also dealt with weight problems. So that 260, he got down to that. Don't forget the year before last, he came into camp minus 20 pounds because he had to drop weight. And it was getting really bad with him in terms of injuries. However, when I think about Zion, I already got 60 games out of him. I studied history in college, Beast. If I did something once, odds are
you want me to do it again? History.
I could do it again. Yeah. I could do it again if I did it once. So if I got 60 games out of him, I think I can get 60 more out of him, right? So if I could get this dude healthy and I could get what I got at him last year, in terms, not even games, Beast, in terms of production, right? If I could get 26, 27, and 8 out of him for 5 seasons, because I don't think he's going to be around for 10, 12 years. I don't think he's going to be around that long. You already got 3 years out of him. If you could get 5 seasons at that production out of him, it's not going to be in New Orleans, by the way, because he's not going to be in New Orleans.
That's what I was about to say.
No, he's not going to be in New Orleans. If you could get 5 years at that production out of him, would you take it?
Yes, 1,000%, especially if it's on a contending squad. If I'm a team that's interested in Zion Williamson, right, and he's for sale, but I could foresee the future, and I knew he would give me 5 seasons of playing at least 60 games per season, 70 games? What would you say? 60 games?
I'm thinking 60 games, right? That's what I'm thinking.
So, if I can
games.
guarantee 60 games for 5 years from Zion Williamson, would I take it if I'm an organization that's in need of a power forward and a guy that can do what Zion can do, right? Hell yes, I'm taking it. You bet your bottom dollar I'm taking it.
Absolutely.
You damn right I'm taking it.
Would he hold up for 5 years? Once again, I already saw him last year, and I saw that I can get 60 games out of him. So, with that being said, if I managed him correct, I ain't getting nothing out of him right now. And I don't think his career is over. I don't think that. Because once again, I've seen big guys who have foot problems sit out and then come back. So I don't think his career is over. But I do think that if I managed him correctly and I can get some years out of him, I would absolutely take it. With that being said, I'm thinking about New Orleans. He's going to walk out the front door, and you're going to get nothing. And not only are you not going to get nothing, you spent the number 1 overall pick on him.
Right.
Stuff like that sets franchises back. What it does is it gets coaches fired, and it gets coaches and general managers fired and players traded because we got the wrong guy in here. So we can't let this dude walk out the front door. We got to get him upright to get his price tag up for other teams, as opposed to just sitting him. So when his contract is up, he just walks out the front door.
Exactly.
Why you think Danny Ainge ain't with the Boston Celtics no more? Kyrie Irving walked out the front door and they ain't get a damn thing for him.
Nothing.
We can't have that with Zion. We're not a big enough market, number 1, and we're not a good enough team to let guys like that, even though he's got to help
AD walk out the door.
Well, we got something for AD. We actually got some players for him. But with Zion, we can't just let him walk out the front door.
They talking about he might be the first player in NBA history to turn down his first big contract. Because I don't think everybody as a superstar on the superstar level has ever done that. Because he can get max money.
Which is why they need to play him so he can look good for the other teams, so they could get something back for him. New Orleans, very much like Oklahoma City, very much like San Antonio, very much like Toronto. We are not a destination city, so we got to build it through the draft. Yep. We got to build it through free agency, and we got to build it through trades. Nobody's coming to New Orleans. I don't care how much money we got. Nobody's coming down here to get with us. Nobody.
100%. 100%.
So we got to prop this dude up as much as we possibly can, so we can increase his value, so we can get something for him. I don't think he wants to be there.
Me neither.
So I don't think he wants to be.
I think you want to be in New York.
I think that's realistic.
Yeah,
that is realistic.
Because that's all he was talking about prior to the draft. New York. You know, I know everybody thought he was gonna fall to him. But speaking of Zion Williamson, right? Let's put him amongst his contemporaries, right? Let's put this guy amongst his contemporaries, and let's assume that Zion Williamson is gonna be healthy for the next decade, guaranteed, right? Let's assume he gets over this foot issue and he's healthy for the next decade. I'm gonna name you some players, and I want you to tell me which one of these guys in their current situation, not creating an ideal situation, right? You could think that depending on, knowledge of the game and what you know in the history of the franchise, right? Let's take Zion, Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, and Trae Young. On their respective teams right now, which one can you see winning a championship first in their situation that they're in?
Well, Donovan's on the best team, so we'll start with him.
Yep.
He's on the best team, and I think he's the closest. Even though I saw what Trae did last year when they was in the Eastern Conference Championship, I think Donovan is on the best team, and they are the closest as of right now. He's playing great. Utah looks really good. They're one of the best defensive teams in the game, and I actually thought that it was between them and the Clippers going to the NBA championship. And before Leonard got hurt, I thought that the winner of that series was going to end up in the NBA Finals. And before Leonard got hurt, I think that was going to happen. I think the Clippers would have beat them, and I think Phoenix, I think the Jazz would have beat Phoenix too. Mm-hmm. So Donovan, I think he's on the best team right now, right? Trae is playing the best. We talking about a dude that's 27-9. And he's the consummate one, right? He looks like he's a dude who you could build it around. And Atlanta is actually building it around him. The problem that we having is they ain't sneaking up on nobody like they did last year.
Fact.
Everybody is prepared for them.
Ready for them.
Like nobody wasn't.
You could tell
nobody. Well, absolutely. When you come to town now, when you see teams playing against Atlanta, everybody's prepared for them. If I
Mm-hmm.
sat across from you in December of 2020 and I said to you, Beast, I got Atlanta in the Eastern Conference Championship, you'd have took them headphones off, you'd have turned this microphone off, and get this dude the hell off my TV. Is he serious right now?
Right.
Hell no.
Right.
Right. So with that being said, they're not sneaking up on nobody. They're a 500 team, even though they got a lot of good players. And they got, I think they got six guys in double figures. They got a lot of good players, but the problem is that they're dealing with a lot of issues defensively. I mean, they lead the team. They lead the league. I think they're at the bottom of the league in giving up assists. That means that every team that they play against, we get whatever we want. There's no ball pressure. We're not getting hands on passes, anything like that. We just get whatever we want. But Trey, I think he's playing the best. I think Ja has the most promise.
Out of all
We
of
ain't
them?
talking about it. I think Ja has the most promise because I'm looking at Ja and I'm looking at the athlete that he is. I'm looking at the slasher that he is, the distributor that he is, how much attention that he draws. I think he's got the most promise because I think he may be the most talented
Mm-hmm.
of these guys in terms of all of these guys. I think he's the most talented. When I think about Zion, Zion's the biggest force. Zion is like Shaq. Zion is the guy's like you can't really do nothing with him. Nothing. You can't really. He's just a force that, if he's healthy, you can't stop him
That's for
from getting to
damn
the
sure.
basket. You can't stop him from getting in the lane. You can't really stop him. So he's the biggest force, right? But when I think about him and I think about that situation he in New Orleans, they have no idea what the hell they're doing down there. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're just rolling. They're just rolling along. That's why they lose the players that they lose.
Right.
So I think Zion is out. So when I think about Luka, I think Luka is the most polished, but Dallas is having such a problem building around him. And you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned this in the past. Luka doesn't look, and I had to go do some homework on this. Luka doesn't really look like he's that. He doesn't look like, he just doesn't look to me like a guy that's fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of guys go, I want to play with Luka
Mm-hmm.
because he's one, he's ball dominant, and there are a lot of superstars who are ball dominant who draw a lot of attention, but they also are great playmakers. They're also
Trae
not just
Young.
great playmakers. Trey Young is another one of those guys. And the most glaring thing with Luka that bothers me the most, which is actually the ironic thing that helped out Joker. Luka don't take care of himself. He don't take care of his body. When you think about Joker, Joker had his best season last year, won the
Mm-hmm.
league MVP. Is that not correct?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, Beast, did he not drop like 30 pounds in the
Yep.
offseason?
Yep.
Showed up to camp, razor sharp,
Yep.
had his best season. I'm looking at Luka, at a guy who's already, I think that, I'm gonna catch some heat for this, but I think Luka is almost at his peak. Well, what do you mean he almost at his peak? Well, I don't think you're gonna get much more out of Luka.
I'm not mad
I
at
don't
that
think
take
I
at
don't, I
all.
don't think Luka. I don't think you're gonna get much more out of Luka. And I know he's only 22 years old,
Yeah.
but we talking about a dude who's been playing at a pro level since he was 16.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how much more
I
you're gonna
think this
get
is
out of
it.
Luka.
This is what you're gonna get. I think this is what you're seeing from Luka. This is Luka. I don't think, he's already averaging 28, 8 and 8. I mean, how much better are you gonna get than that?
That's what I'm thinking about, Beast. I don't know how much more
It's
you're gonna get
right
out
now
of
the
him.
question is how long is he gonna be at this level? That's
That's
more
my
what I'm worried about than if he's got another gear. Because I don't think he has another
right,
gear, but how long can he sustain this? Is
right.
it for a
And
decade? Is it for 8 years, 6 years? That's the question.
well, it's well, what you're seeing right now is you're seeing a dude who just got finished talking about it. I need to get in better conditioning. If that's the question, if that's even a question, then I got a problem with you moving forward.
Yeah.
Because I should never. What that's the problem that we having right now with James Harden. James Harden has played the majority of his career just showing up and getting himself in shape as the season goes on. Well, he's gotten older now. We talking about a year.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about a dude who's in year 13, and now this is catching up to him, right? This is catching up to him,
Can't
and
do
this is
that
becoming
shit
a
you used to do
problem,
when you was younger, dog.
right? Now
Get
it's
your ass
catching
in
up
that
to him.
gym.
There's a reason
Shaq used
why
to
he's
do that
playing the
shit.
way he's playing, right? And you saw what happened to Shaq. What
Mm-hmm.
started happening later on, it didn't work as well as it used to, and the same thing could very well happen to Luka. When we're talking about a guy who was already in year 4, who's coming to camp out of shape. So what is he going to look like in year 7,
Right.
in year 8, when he's still coming into camp out of shape?
Still
That is
eating the
unacceptable
same
right there.
way, not working
Right.
out during the off season.
Is he going to hold up for 5, 6, 7, 8 more years? Is he going to hold up? Or are we going to start to see those nagging injuries increase? Now, I know he's only 22 years old, but I think as of right now, Donovan Mitchell is in the best situation.
No doubt about it. You looking at it from a player's perspective. Donovan Mitchell, like you illustrated, has the best team. Zion probably won't be there within the next 2 to 3 years. Ja Morant, even though they balling right now, I think they still some pieces away from serious contention. Trae Young, I believe, if you had to put him in a pecking order, I believe I would take Donovan Mitchell first with the potential to do it. With the Eastern Conference getting stronger this year than it was the previous years, that decreases Trae Young's probability to me. Even though I think Trae Young is not in a terrible situation, especially like we just talked about before the lights cut on. What if they get a guy like Jaylen Brown, a guy that's uneasy, a little bit unhappy in this situation? You put him with a guy like Trae Young where he's the for sure second option. He ain't got to stand in no corner. Even though Trae Young likes to play on the ball a lot, he would allow Jalen Green to get some tick, to get the peel on a more consistent basis than he is in Boston as of late.
Average 9 assists.
That's what I'm saying. So
Averages
we
9
can't
assists.
say that about Jason Tatum, too. When he's touching the ball, he's looking to score it every time.
Yeah.
You know, Trae Young is looking to get guys involved. He's looking to facilitate. He's looking to find his guys in open spots, which is why they have 7 guys in double figures now. So, you know, I think if you add another guy on that wing, that's the only thing that Atlanta's missing to me outside of the defensive deficiencies in this team. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to put them in a pecking order, it'd be Donovan Mitchell 1, Trae Young 2, Luka 3, Ja Morant 4, and Zion 5 as to who has the best chance to win a championship. Now, we just talked about, what was that, 6 guys that are pretty well known in the league. Now let's take another 6 guys, young point guards, and I want you to tell me who has the higher ceiling, right? We got LaMelo Ball. I talked about this on TikTok for those who follow me, right? I got LaMelo Ball, Ja Morant, Dejounte Murray, Cole Anthony, and Darius Garland.
Okay.
In order, who has the highest ceiling? I want it from 6 to 1 or 1 to 6, either or, however you want to do it.
Okay, so we at the bottom of the list. That's 5 guys. We at the bottom of the list right now.
Melo,
LaMelo,
Ja, Dejounte, Cole Anthony, Darius Garland. That's 5.
Okay, so that's 5 guys. All right. So at the bottom of the list, I'm gonna start with Cole Anthony. And the reason why I'm gonna start with Cole Anthony is because somebody got to be the lead. Somebody got to be the leading scorer on a bad team. So don't let that fool you.
Right.
But he also looks like somebody that we might be able to build this thing around. We don't know, but we might be able to build this thing around him. Now, the other guy, and you and I had this conversation before. My man Beast over here, he got a man crush on Mo Bamba, and I would like to see Mo Bamba get better because he might be another guy that you could build it around in addition to Cole Anthony. That would help Cole Anthony out tremendously.
And I said Mo Bamba, if he's starting, would lead the league in blocks. Right now, he's second behind Miles Turner. Keep that in mind.
Okay, absolutely. Keep that in mind. No doubt about that. So Cole Anthony is at the bottom of that list. Dejounte Murray, I think, goes behind him. And the only reason why Dejounte Murray goes behind him is because he's got a history of injury. I don't know how. He already tore up his knee one time, so that worries me. He tore up his knee one time, so that at that 18-8-8, that's not my issue. Because he also looks like a guy that we might have a franchise point guard in this guy. We might have our franchise point guard, and we don't even know it, right? 18-8-8, and he goes downhill, and he looks like he's just going to get better, right? I think this is year 4 that he's in right now. He looks like he's going to get better. The thing that worries me, he tore his knee up 2 years ago. Is this going to be a problem moving forward? And I'm not ready to risk that. At 3, I like Darius Garland, man. Let me tell you about Darius Garland. He's gotten better every year, Beast. He went from 12 to 17 to almost 20 this year. I just want to put that on your mind. And nobody has welcomed a vet more than he has welcomed Rubio. I think having Rubio has pushed him over where he already was.
He want to be an off-ball guy. You know, he want to be that guy that's I'm just here to score. J.R. Smith.
Yeah. So if getting Rubio, that helped him out. Getting Rubio and losing Sexton helped him out tremendously. Now they're building around him. They're building around Mobley. I love Okoro.
And they look good without Sexton. Do they need him?
They actually look. To be honest with you, I think he's getting traded in the offseason. To be honest with you, I think he's getting moved in the offseason. And if he doesn't get moved in the offseason, he'll be moved before the season ends next season because I don't think they're going to pay him. I think he in the same situation with Kemba Walker, where they got to make a decision on are they gonna pony up 150 or are they going to get something for him? And I don't think they're spending 150 on Sexton. Which, by the way, we talking about a dude who's 23-5.
Right.
They ain't spending 150 on him. I doubt that very seriously. But I dig Garland, and I think that he's very much in the future for these guys. And I love everything about him. I got Ja Morant at 2. And the reason why I got Ja Morant at 2 is because the same reason I got Dejounte Murray. Last year, Ja rolled his ankle. He was out of the lineup for a while. This year, he's got a knee issue. So my question to him, the one thing that needs to be understood about this more than anything, your availability is your best ability. If I can't count on you to be here, then I can't count on you. If I'm building my unit around you, I need to know that I can count on you. P. Diddy said it best, man. Is it either the studio or is it the streets? I can't be building my unit. I can't be building my label around somebody that's going to get locked up tomorrow.
Facts.
I can't do that. Absolutely. So I'm not sure. That's the only thing. His talent is not in question for me. He looks like a guy who's a franchise point guard. He looks like a guy who I think that, barring any injury, he could be the best point guard in the game. But the question is, because his game is predicated on flight and athleticism, is he going to hold up? That's the million-dollar question with him. Now, when I look at the number one guy, I look at Melo. Melo, a franchise point guard to me. He looked like the dude who I'm building my unit around this dude right here. He comes in with supreme confidence. His father told us 4 years ago, I know you loving my kid, Lonzo. I just want to put this on your mind. I got another boy who's better than him.
I said,
I know you don't think so right now.
Crazy, Unc, but I called it too. I called it.
I got another boy.
Watch, I told you, Lonzo was still at Chino Hills averaging a triple-double. Everybody was on the hype train for Lonzo. This was before UCLA. I said, y'all hyped on him, but that little 13-year-old, he's special. He's going to be better than Lonzo. And I got it on paper with the year next to it. So can't nobody ever say, oh, OG, you didn't print it. Yes, the hell I did, because I wrote it as a status on Facebook. I posted a highlight clip, and I said, this is going to be the best ball brother out of the three. Everybody called me stupid, goofy, crazy. He went to UCLA, shot 42% from three, got drafted. What? Lonzo get drafted second in the draft. Everybody was on the hype train, and I love me some Lonzo. He's a Chicago Bull now. But he ain't better than LaMelo. I'll tell you that right now.
Man. Melo looked to me. He just looked to me, Beast. He looked like somebody we can build it around. He looked like a franchise point guard. I got my franchise point guard, Jordan. Now your question is can you not screw this up, Mike? You got the guy that you've been looking for. Now build around him.
Don't
you
screw
got
this
your
up.
guy.
Don't
screw this up,
Jordan.
Mike.
Well, when it comes to my list is basically similar to yours. You went from bottom to the top. I start from the top to the bottom. Only adjustment that I made. I got Melo, of course, has the highest ceiling. I believe he's better than Ja. Somebody was in here, True Hero was in here putting up a fit when you had LaMelo as the number one guy on his list. Definitely. I'm taking LaMelo as number one. I think he has the highest ceiling. I think they're a few pieces away from being a serious contender in the Eastern Conference, right? At 2, I have Ja Morant. Even though the inconsistencies with health, I think he'll figure it out. I think he'll be able to pull forward. He's a young cat. We don't like to see injuries early, but with the technology that they're dealing with now, as long as it's knick-knack and it's not anything major, I'm cool with it. I had Dejounte Murray at 3. Was the only adjustment that I made to yours. Even though he did tear his knee up, I think Dejounte Murray's injuries are behind him now because I like to see consistency on that level. Coming off of a serious injury like he did last season, for him I don't think Dejounte missed a game this year due to injury. So
that's correct.
That was one thing that I was keying in on. Okay, usually you don't want to bet on a guy coming off the injury. You want to wait until he's 1 year removed from that injury before he has that let me see what you got type shit. You know what I mean? So DeJounte said, damn that, I'm coming out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And I like that about this kid. I think he's the cornerstone of this San Antonio garbage team right now. But at least you got your point guard of the future in Dejounte Murray, in my opinion. At 4, I got Darius Garland. Garland showed me something this year. He can really put the ball in the hoop, and this Cleveland Cavaliers team is rolling because of it. I don't know what they're going to do with Sexton in the offseason. You think they're going to move him because they're not finna fork up this cash because he's probably not worth it. Let him be somebody else's problem. I 100% agree with that. But as far as Garland, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's here to stay. And at 5, Anthony, like you say, somebody got to put up the points on a bad team. Somebody's got to be Michael Carter-Williams. You know, somebody has to be fool's gold and let everybody think he's the guy when he potentially is not. Like, if you put a guy in a situation where he has to put up those points because they mean more now, the pressure gets a little bit thick, you know, and guys ain't that same guy that they was, you know, hey, damn, homie, in high school was you, man, homie. The hell happened to you? You know what I'm saying? But moving on to the show. We already an hour in. We've been talking y'all ears off, but we got a good one coming up. Look, we got a great. Y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm the CEO of the starting lineups. Y'all know I love getting funky with these starting lineups, creating different ways to engage with a starting lineup, right? So now we got a new one. We got a little funky one I came up with. We're going to put together your best starting lineup using today's players. But the formula that I got is, I don't care what position you decide to put these players in. You can only use 2 All-Stars, 1 rookie, 1 veteran who's not an All-Star, never been an All-Star in his career. And what I consider a vet is a guy that's been in the league 10 years or more, right? 1 Hall of Famer from any era of basketball. I don't care who you choose. That's your cornerstone. That's essentially who you building your team around, right? 1 Hall of Famer and 1 6-man. Now, keep in mind, you only could use 2 All-Stars. So if one of your guys end up being not an All-Star out of your 2, but you decide to choose a All-Star for a 6-man, that's on you. But your whole team outside of this Hall of Famer can only be 2 All-Stars, your entire team. So 3 All-Stars total. You got 2 All-Stars and you're 1 Hall of Famer from any era. You want me to go first or you got it?
Well,
it's a lot.
No,
I hope you did it right.
I did do it right. Okay. Absolutely, I did. Okay. So I'm going to start with my All-Stars. I'm going to go with Giannis and Steph. Those are my 2 All-Stars. Okay. As of right now, those are my 2 All-Stars. My rook, I'm loving him. I think he's going to be Rookie of the Year this year, and that's Evan Mobley.
Okay.
I'm loving everything about Evan Mobley. My veteran, who's been in the league, he came in the league in 2012. This is year 10 that he's in right now, is Mr. Valanciunas. Absolutely.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm going with Valanciunas, and I get to have 1 Hall of Famer because, again, I'm looking at my unit with Giannis, Steph, Mobley, and Valanciunas. I got my glass work. I got my ball handler and Steph. I need a ball. I need a shooter, right? I'm going to go with Chris Mullin.
Chris Mullin.
I'm going to go with Chris
Tell me
Mullin.
who playing what position. I need to know. How you got this sorted out? I need to know.
I'm going to go with Chris Mullin.
Hold on. What you got?
Steph playing the 1. All right? Steph playing the 1. Mullin's playing the 2. Valanciunas. Mobley.
Valanciunas is playing what? The big.
Valanciunas going to play the big. Giannis going to play the 4. And Mobley. That's going to be my front line right there.
You got Mobley.
That's my front line right there.
That's a big ass squad.
That's my lineup right there, boy. And my dude coming off the bench. Is Ginobili.
Oh, you can't do that. You cheating.
So why am I cheating? You said I got what? I get 1 6-man. That's it.
Right, but your 6-man can't be an All-Star. You only get 2 All-Stars.
Oh, that's right. Ginobili is an All-Star.
Ginobili is no longer in the league. So you only can use 1 former player, which was the Hall of Famer. You have to use today's players.
I could use 1 6-man.
Who's not an All-Star unless you taking off one of these All-Stars. So your All-Stars right now, hold on. I might have to do some adjustment. I might have to police this lineup. Hold on. I see Steph, who's an All-Star. Mullin was an All-Star. Giannis was an All-Star.
Wait a minute. Hall of Famers are All-Stars.
Okay. So Steph and Giannis is your 2 All-Stars. Your Hall of Famer is Chris Mullin. Okay.
There you
Your
go.
rookie is Mobley. Your vet is Big V. And then you
Yep.
need a six man.
I need a six man,
Need
and
a
that
six
six man is
man.
Tyler. That six man is Tyler Hero.
So you stole mine. Okay.
Yeah, that six man is
Okay.
Tyler Hero. I'll take him. Yes, sir.
Got
I
you.
was going. I was going to take Anthony, but then I thought about it. Wait a minute, Anthony's an All Star, so I can't have him.
Yeah. He said
Nope.
when Manu make the All Star. Let me double check.
What?
I could be wrong, but last
Not.
time I checked, I thought Manu was at least a 3 or 4 time All Star.
Wait a minute. Manu made the All Star team these many times. Manu was a 4-time All Star, 2-time All NBA
2
performer.
time
What are
All
we talking
NBA,
about here?
4-time champ, 2
4-time,
time All Star, 2 time All Star.
2-time All Star. I'm
Two
sorry,
time. That's
2-time
what I say.
All.
At least made it 2 or 3 times. I knew I wasn't.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't
Yes,
tweaking.
sir.
All you need
Yes,
is one
sir.
time, and you're canceled. You can't use him. All right.
Mhm.
So my guys, right? I got Steph Curry at the 1, just like you. You know, that's one of my All Stars, right? My Hall of Famer is Jordan.
Of course.
I mean, why would I pick anybody other than the GOAT? That's my cornerstone. If my backcourt is Jordan and Curry, it's trouble. We finna mop the floor with your squad. We mopping the floor. Get the brooms, because it's a cold sweep. You picked anybody in history. You picked Chris Mullin. We are in your ass. Real talk. I picked Jordan. I thought you was gonna pick Bron. I picked.
The reason why I'm not picking Bron because I got Giannis. That's why.
And he not in the Hall of Fame yet, but you know that's a lot. But anyway, you could have picked anybody though. Shaq.
I could have picked
Hakeem,
anybody.
Will. But
I'm looking at my crew though. That's why I'm looking at my crew.
copy that. But I got Steph at the 1, Jordan at the 2, right? Backcourt. For the 3 is where I use my vet spot. I picked Gallinari. Gallinari's going to space the floor for us. He could put the ball on the deck. He's a 12-year veteran. He's averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds right now, 92% from 3, 42% from 3, 92 from the free throw. Gallo's an efficient scorer, man, and right now he's an aging veteran, but when called upon, he can give you 20 on any given night. So I like what Gallo brings as a floor spacer for Jordan. For my rookie, I got it also at the power forward spot, and I got the other guy who's arguably could win Rookie of the Year, and that's Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is giving you 15 and 8 and 3 on 48% from the field, and most importantly, 38% from 3. That's impressive for a guy like Scotty Barnes.
It is.
That is very impressive, right? So right now I got Steph as my point guard, as one of my All-Stars. I got Jordan as my Hall of Famer. I got Gallo as my 10-plus year vet. Scotty Barnes is my rookie. My other All-Star is Joel Embiid playing the 5 for me. So now we got a beast in the paint. And we got a guy who can do pretty much everything, especially on the defensive side of the ball as well. And he can space the floor if need be for Michael Jeffrey Jordan. 6 man, we got the same guy, and that's Tyler Hero. He's coming off the bench, and he's giving you buckets. Tyler Hero is averaging 20 points per game right now. He is going to run away with the 6 man of the year. I can't remember the last time a 6 man averaged 20 or more.
Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford is the last one to do it.
You think so? Because I don't think Jamal Crawford ever averaged 24 in his career, ever. I don't think Crawford did it. Manu never did it. Sweet Lou never did it. Maybe if you might have to reach back to Kevin McHale. Let me check that because that's very interesting. If this dude does this is special. And a lot of people not even really paying attention to it. Manu never averaged a dub in his career. Let's check Lou Will right now while we kill a little bit of time. Lou Will averaged the dub for 2 consecutive seasons, but he never won 6 man of the year. Lou Williams averaged 20. I'm talking about in those years. Did he win it in those years? Did he win 20? Lou Williams won it. What years did he win it? Well, he won it 3 times in a row. So Sweet Lou did. It was probably one of those years, right? 2018, 2019. That seemed too soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, outside of that, you probably got to reach for Kevin McHale, right? So, Unc team, he got Steph, Chris Mullin at the 2, Mobley at the 3, big as hell. You got a 7-foot at the 3, a 7-foot at the 4, and a 7-foot at the 5. Well, Big V like 6'10", 6'11".
We big as hell on the front line.
Y'all big as hell. We finna run y'all off.
And we playing zone on top of that.
You gonna have to with them slow ass motherfuckers. You gonna have to play slow.
We playing zone.
You gonna have to play a 2-3, a 3-2 against. You gonna a 1-2. You gonna have to do something because these motherfuckers slow. I got Steph, Jordan, Gallo, Scotty, real talk. Joel Embiid, Tyler Hero against Tyler Hero, Steph Curry against Steph Curry. That's the only mirror matchups we got in this game. Mm-hmm. All right, that was fun. I enjoyed that. But we gonna close the show with a question that we answered before, but I want to know who you got again to reiterate because I want to put this on TikTok for the people on TikTok because this has been a question that a lot of people have been asking lately, and that's we don't do top 10s. I don't do top 10s because when you do a top 10, you end up with Joe Schmo want to blow on your list, even though we're talking about all-time greats, and that's cool. That's the only way that I would ever do a top 10 is if we're talking about all-time greats or we're talking about a thick-ass position like quarterback. If it's quarterback, I might say, hey, give me a top 10. If not, it's certain situations where I do a top 10. This could have been one, but I chose to do a top 5. Scores in NBA history. Let me get your top 5 scores in NBA history. Starting from 5.
5, Bryant. 4, KD. 3, Jabbar. 2, James. 1, Jordan.
You out of line as hell for having LeBron James as the second greatest scorer of all time. You out of line as hell. You are out of line as hell. Second greatest scorer of all time is LeBron James. You out of line as hell.
Let me finish. I had that screwed up. I'm looking at my list, and I had it screwed up. So, again, Bryant was 5. I had James at 4. I had Durant at 3. I had Jabbar at 2, and I had Jordan at 1. My fault. Okay. I had my list screwed up.
Well,
I apologize.
Okay.
I just went off the top 5 scoring. I was and I just didn't. I kind of glanced at my list and not realizing that. Whoa, hold on. Let me. Yeah, I just glanced at my list and I didn't. Hold on. Let me clean that up.
Yeah, please clean that up. But it's still dirty to me if you ask me. Yeah. Nasty top 5. But it's your opinion. LeBron James is not in my top 5. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has the most points in NBA history, but he scored the ball one way and one way only. He is not in my top 5. What I consider to be a great scorer is somebody that can kill you in a multitude of ways. I don't want the totals to cloud my judgment because the totals is nice. That lets me know you were consistent. That lets me know you played a long time. I like that. But just because Kevin Durant doesn't have 30,000 points yet doesn't mean he's not the greatest scorer of all time. Arguably, right?
What does it mean then?
Arguably. Because Kevin Durant, just because somebody made a great counter to your video on the Sports Behavior Podcast TikTok. I watched it. Somebody said when you gave your Steph Curry argument, somebody said totals aren't everything. Because if that's the case, you could read down the top 5 scores of all time and name guys in that top 5 that are better than them that are not even in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great point. Just because Steph Curry has 30 or 60 people ahead of him on the all-time scoring list don't mean those 60 people ahead of him are better scorers than him, which is a great point. Right. So if I was to name my top 5, even though he was a bit inefficient to start his career, Tracy McGrady is at 5. There wasn't a damn thing offensively Tracy McGrady could not do on the court. He was a problem. Who has the most defensive first teams of all time?
Who has the most first team? Oh, that would be Bryant.
Okay. Kobe has the most. He's tied with Mike.
Tied with Jordan. Yes, sir.
He said the hardest man he ever had to guard was Tracy McGrady. Mm-hmm. The disrespect for Tracy McGrady stops now. He was a dog. I know he was on bad teams and he didn't win shit, but T-Mac was a dog. At 4, I got Carmelo Anthony. How could you disrespect Carmelo Anthony? He could give it to you however you want it. The inventor of bully ball.
10.
Definitely.
I think he's a top 10 scorer.
Carmelo Anthony was a dog. 27, almost 30,000 points in conjunction with what he did on that court as a New York Knick and a Denver Nugget. Facts. Carmelo Anthony is number 4. At number 3, I got Kobe Bryant. We all know how Kobe was, an array of moves, up and under, invented the reverse pivot. I've never seen anybody do that until I seen Kobe Bryant do it. And number 2, I have Kevin Durant, who arguably could go down as the greatest scorer of all time because Kevin Durant is the most efficient scorer of all time, and he's 7 feet tall, can shoot over anybody he wants to, and unlike Dirk Nowitzki, who's also comparable to what I just named, he can get his off the dribble at a quick rate, handles like a guard, can shoot it from anywhere on the court. Only needs 13 shot attempts to get 30. When you got a guy like that on your team, he could play anywhere with anybody, which is why him and Steph was so dangerous. Number 1, I got the GOAT. 10 times scoring titles. 10 times scoring champion. Averaged 30 for his entire career. There's not a better scorer of all time than Michael Jeffrey Jordan, in my opinion. But great show. I had fun tonight. We're going to wrap it up with some questions from the fans. Rain them in. I'm getting a little dizzy. I need to eat something. I need to get something in my stomach. I ain't been feeling too good today. But we're going to wrap this up. Questions from the fans, man. I enjoy having y'all. Yeah, somebody actually it's crazy because somebody on YouTube actually said in the comments, y'all should make question from the fans a longer segment. Somebody because I just throw it in there just to get y'all involved in the show and, get some interaction going. But somebody actually said, I like that segment. Y'all should make that a longer segment and actually spend some time on it. So I may consider that for future shows. But right now, we finna get the hell up out of here. So ask us some questions, and let's wrap this one up.
Anthony Edwards?
I think that's what we're talking about. Anthony Edwards. Mm-hmm. Is Ant better than Wiggins? Mm-hmm. No doubt about it already. It's not even a question.
That's a tough one for me, man, because Anthony, he just looks like he's going to be a perennial all-star, and maybe Wiggins was just an empty stats guy because he was 20 plus a game while he was in Minnesota. He was 20 a game, and maybe it was empty stats. I mean, he only went to the playoffs one time, so he might be better than him. He absolutely might be better than him. No doubt about that.
I think Anthony Edwards is better, and it's not even close. It's not even close, especially to what Wiggins was hyped up to be. He didn't even become half of that. Like people thought Wiggins was gonna be that dude. Gilbert Arenas or Darren Williams.
For me, that's simple for me. I think it's Darren Williams. I don't think at no point was Gilbert Arenas ever considered the best point guard in the game. There was a time when Darren Williams was considered the best lead guard in the game. I actually had him over Chris Paul at one point.
That's true.
Yes, I did.
It was between those two guys, sprinkling in a little bit of Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Agent
Zero was hell now. Don't get me wrong. Agent Zero was hell.
He had a 4-year stretch in which he averaged nearly 30 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He was a demon. It depends on what you want. I might take prime Darren Williams, though.
Mm-hmm.
I might take prime Darren Williams. What player would be the scariest if they were taller? All time? Allen Iverson. No question.
That's easy for me.
No
That's
question.
Iverson.
If AI was 6'7", he'd be trouble.
He was already trouble at 6 foot.
And it's going to raise his efficiency. He'd be trouble.
At 6 foot. At 6 foot, 6'1", he was trouble.
Alex English or George Gervin?
Oh man,
that's tough.
I loved Alex English. Alex English is one of my favorite players of all time. But the Iceman was hell. Iceman was nothing but buckets. Even though
I'm taking Alex English.
Even though Alex English was buckets, and he was, when we talk about buckets, I'm talking about a dude who can play in any era and be buckets like he was.
Mm-hmm.
But Gervin was a better transition player, I think, than Alex English. And he had more in his bag than Alex English. He was hell. Now, when I talk about Alex English, again, we talking about a dude who, I mean, when he retired, only 6 dudes in the history of the game scored, 5 dudes in the history of the game scored more points than him. So, I mean, we'll be talking about here with Alex English. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think George Gervin gets. I think he gets the slight.
That's close, man. That's close. That's close.
Yes,
That's real
sir.
Close.
Absolutely slight. So,
how do you think Gilbert would do as a coach? Arenas? He got a little podcast. Let's keep him right there. A few more. Let's get out of here. What team in the league can use Magic? Johnson?
All
30?
Every one of them.
All 30.
Every one of them. And he would be awesome on every one of them. Every last one of them, he would be awesome. What are we talking about here?
Better score, Luka or Tatum? Probably Tatum.
I think
he's a little bit more efficient than Luka, but Luka's actually been playing better this year. Is it this year or last year? I think last year he shot like 32% from three. That ain't gonna cut it. I would take Tatum. I think he's got a better array of moves, especially off the dribble. Even though Luka's no slouch, both of them great offensive players. But if I had to choose one, I might take Tatum in that situation.
best two-way point guard of all times. You turned me on to Chris Paul because I was looking at I went back. I had to go do
trying
some
to find an
homework.
argument.
Yeah, because I was looking at Stockton. I was looking at Darren Waite. I was looking at these dudes. I was looking at Jason Kidd, and I'm thinking to myself, this dude might be right. he might be right, yo. Because the only knock on Chris Paul was that he was made of glass. There was a stretch where you could. But other than that, in terms of his ability to play on both sides of the ball, man,
7-time
it
defense,
ain't really
all elite defense.
Nine.
Is it? I don't think it's that many. No. No,
Go do your homework, B.
7-time first team is what I meant. He's first team 7 times.
Hey,
that's what I meant. 9 total.
Okay.
First team. When I say all elite, I'm talking about first team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't be counting that, everybody healthy.
Yeah.
But
Gary Payton got, because I did some homework. Gary Payton got an argument for
that's the
for
best.
being, for
that's
being
the best argument that you could have made.
Gary
That's
Payton
why I say when we
Gary
brought it up
Payton.
that one day and you said Stock, I'm like, no, Stock is nowhere near the offensive player that Chris Paul is.
Gary Payton. When I think about Gary Payton,
That's
I'm thinking
the best argument.
That
25
that may
and 8.
be. Yeah, that may be the guy. But other than that, I'm like, when I went back and did some homework, I'm thinking that ain't ridiculous, yo. That's
20,000 points, 10,000 assists. That lets you know right there.
That's how many guys got that.
Yeah.
These how many guys have done that. So
like that's incredible.
That's what it is.
But yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you guys. Absolutely. It's good to see y'all. We dig y'all coming out. We can't do this without you guys.
Facts.
Y'all the only reason why we here. If y'all ain't here, we ain't here.
Facts.
So
you already know. And we live on Twitch every Tuesday night, every Friday night. Today Barbershop Fridays. Come kick it with us. Drop us a follow. If you can't catch it live on Twitch, you already know it's going to be over there on YouTube the following day. W's in the chat. If you enjoyed yourself tonight, I appreciate everybody coming out, all the new chatters, all the new subscribers, everybody that dropped the gifted sub. We appreciate y'all. Take us home.
Take it light, but take it.